What's good, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast, man. And you know I don't like doing any episode without my dog Keith, but whenever he can't make it, I'll be having special guests in the building. And this one is a returning one, a great one, the man from Arizona himself. Wagwan, bruv. And
Yeah,
bro.
yo, respect. What's good, bro? Thank you for having me back again.
Of course, man. Of course, you know how we do things, man. Always rocking out. Always been a great guest whenever you stopping through. Yeah, let me make sure. I'm trying to fix my microphone right now.
Okay.
Trying to fix my microphone. It was crazy. I was telling you right before we started recording, my audio went crazy on me last week because me and Keith had recorded, and then I'm always working on 2 or 3 different projects at once, bro. And then so I woke up. I think we recorded with him on Friday, and then I woke up Saturday morning and I was doing video. I think I was trying to drop the video that me and Spec had recorded, and my computer was acting crazy, and I just went on a frenzy. Just everything got to get deleted. Everything got to go. And, you know what I mean? It was going out of business, and I didn't even realize I didn't transfer the audio that I recorded the night before. I just had this shit sitting with everything else. So yeah, when that happened, it was a wrap.
Damn, bro. Yeah, I know that sucks. I dealt with it. So
you know how it go, man. But how you been, man? How things on your end?
Things are good, bro. Still working hard, still making music. I had a dope weekend, actually. There was a couple events I went to. I don't know if you're familiar with like the Odd Squad family. It's like a group of artists.
Nah, put me like where they out of Arizona? Where they out of?
They're out of Arizona. It's 3 guys. Okay. I believe 3 or 4 guys, and they have some sort of disability. One of them, his name is Nubs. He has a disability. I guess his arm is not complete, or I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to misspeak. I don't know what his situation is, but he doesn't have full arms and legs.
Okay.
And he's a rapper. And then there's another guy. He what's the pigment albino. He's albino.
Okay.
And then there's this black dude. Again, I don't know what all their situations are, but they're like a rap group, and they killing it. They're dope. So I went out there because one of my homies, one of my clients that did my video production work, was opening up for them, Big Shay. Okay. And they shut it down, man. It was a great show, dude. Like it was at the Now Theater out here in Arizona, and I had a good time. I hit that up. That was Friday. Saturday, this was yesterday, I went to a grand opening of a multimedia studio.
Okay.
Super dope. I had an opportunity to network with a lot of artists there. Futuristic. It's another, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a popular artist.
Okay.
And it was just a dope vibe. They had different rooms and different scenes set up. So if you're a videographer, if you want to shoot a music video, they have all the sets for you.
Okay.
Left there, went over to this full moon festival that to like 2 something a.m. And it's just like a music festival out here in Arizona. It's very popular. Every full moon, they have an event. And my fiance was vending at that show. So I was helping her out with that. And bro, it was crazy. It's like half naked people just having a great time, bro.
Arizona, baby. I see the ads. I see the ads, man. Nah, I see why you was tired though. You know what I'm saying? Why you said you needed, a couple hours. You got a busy day. You was hustling hard. You know what I mean? So I definitely respect it, man. Respect the grind. I appreciate you being here. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube right now. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend, and go check us out. Cause actually I'm tripping to put a button on the story I started with. I lost that audio, but I was able to save the podcast because I have video audio to back it up. yeah. So I knew there was an ending to the story. I forgot just let it go. Blame it on the chronic. But what's good with you though, man? Other than that, how's the music going? How's everything? You recorded anything new? What's good?
Yeah, I have some new music. Just still, sharing more of me, like this is more of the side that you would know me from SUNY, Albany. You know, I do like to party. You know, we
Oh,
used to
okay, you
party all
party
the
a little bit
time.
more, you saying?
No, I don't really party much, but I put that energy into the music. You know
Oh,
what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
For my listeners or whatever. And it's super dope, bro. I just been working on some dope music, but I have been put a plan together to put it out because I want to allow the music that I have now out to get it shine. You know,
You know what's crazy is I hear that a lot from artists like Ayo Niche, founding member of the Perfect Talk podcast. She says that a lot. Like, and I remember there was a point when I don't even know if I would say I was getting on a case, but I think she might have been asking me for a critique, and I was just like, sometimes, you know, this is back in the day, it's not even anymore, because now she puts out a lot of music, but I was like, back then, she felt like she was sitting on a lot of it, and she had to break it down to me and put me on a game that it's about timing. It's all about timing, you know what I mean? Like, you could just sit here and drop, I got 20 hot songs and just drop, but if you don't let them live and grow and nourish them and become what they're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? They just fade off, and actually people value them less, you know what I mean? So
you got to make them want more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
because now, and it's like I look at this podcast or even the radio show I do. It's like an organic thing. Like, it's really growing. You know what I'm saying? Like a kid. Like, it started out one way. It's gonna be a different way in a couple stages. Gonna be another way a couple stages after that. And that's how I guess the progression of music would be, right? Like, you kind of first learn what your sound, I guess how to record, right? How to make a structure of a song, and then you build your sound, and then you build your marketing around it, like, for lack of a better term, but how you want to release your music, you know what I'm saying? How you want to
find your audience, pretty much. Yeah.
Now, I guess, how do you connect with people? Like, are you big on building your social media brand to connect with people? Do you see a higher value in the live shows, maybe over, or is it just everything's equal? That's just the game nowadays.
The live shows.
Okay.
The live shows, because when people get a chance to meet me, I think they appreciate me, which makes them go listen to the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like who I am.
Okay.
Because you know, because I always hear all the time, like, yo, I love your energy. Your energy is great, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, as long as I stay true to myself when I'm out there performing and mingling with people, it's unmatched.
Yeah, 100%.
Social media is great. I mean, that's like the way to pop your music now, it seems like. But it doesn't give you the same connection like you get from a show. Like someone reaching out to you while you're on stage, or someone pulling you aside when you're done with your set, and just to talk about how they appreciate the music and your performance and things like that. It's the best, bro.
No, I've heard that. I heard that a lot. Not just from musicians, but like comedians, people that do live podcasts. They just say it's a whole nother feeling. Even if you get in the same message, like your DMs could be flooded with people saying what they like and how much they like it, but somebody look you in the eye, you know what I'm saying? Maybe tears in their eyes if you've got an emotional reaction out of them, something like that. I think is a whole different feel. And I guess with social media and maybe YouTube, if you want to throw it in there as a social media platform, but like, I guess the people who can't make it to actually reach out and touch you, right? Who can't buy tickets to a show until you come to their town, is like that's how they can connect with you. That's how someone overseas, like, I don't know, do you network with people, or do you get feedback from people overseas? Or I'm assuming, even if not overseas, out of the Arizona area, that you like, man, I ain't never even been there. I didn't even know people rocking my stuff over there, you know what I'm saying?
Out in Barbados, I have some people that rock to my music out there. There's a producer I send music to, and I get feedback from her. So right now, that's the only person out of the country, because I'm kind of like low key with myself also.
No, definitely. That's take your time and build your brand, man. And I think about that sometimes too, because even when I'm focusing on just marketing the podcast, I'll be like, yo, it's a big world. We kind of think, you know what I'm saying? Like we're the, you know, so it's America. So you be like, oh, all right, well, focus on this. What else? But there's airs everywhere.
Yeah.
People got money, man. If you was talking right before the podcast too, I was saying I was today years old when I realized that song from the night at the Roxbury, the What Is Love? baby, don't hurt me. I just realized that was a black dude. and then you respond, I'm gonna let you respond. You put me on to something when you said
that
Madonna,
song, Girls Just
Madonna
Want to
song.
Have Fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was sung by Madonna. And don't judge me. It's Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper, yep.
Cyndi
Yeah,
Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper, yep.
I found that out yesterday, bro. Damn.
Yeah. I'm sure Madonna get credit for a lot of shit she ain't do. You know, so she,
I think what it was for me though, don't judge me on this, but like I watched the Madonna movie when Ad came out, and that song was on there. So I feel like that song was on there. I could be wrong.
the one that came out back in the day, the Madonna, like the documentary or whatever.
No, the Madonna movie where she was playing herself, I guess, like back in like the 80s.
Yeah. I remember. I never seen it though, so I didn't know if it was a documentary or what exactly it was. But I know what you're talking about. I remember her having a movie up way back in the day, which is like the height of her career though, when she was like, yeah. I remember that. Madonna was on top too. Like it is to this day. She's on the Beyonce remix to the Break My Soul. They flip it into the Strike a Pose. The bowl. I think
album, the new Beyonce.
Yeah, yeah. The Beyonce's the new album. She had the Break My Soul Queen remix. And I want to say they break it to the Madonna Vogue beat, and she just starts freestyling over that beat on the remix. She got Madonna on the remix too, though. Beyonce could do no wrong right now. Everyone's hating on her. I seen a pastor hating on Beyonce, and I feel like nobody cared. You can't touch it.
Did you hear the beef they was giving her about using the word spaz?
Yeah, we talked about that last time. What you think about that? Because I want to know, like, I think we said that in our community, we didn't even know spaz was a slur against like handicapped people. Like, I first got educated to the word when, remember Grant Hill drink Sprite and homie tried to dunk the ball, and everybody's like, yo, he spaz. Right. That's how, and then it evolved to, I'm about to spaz on you, like I might fuck you up right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
but context, that's the thing. Context is everything. Like, if you pay attention to how the word's being used, because it's an actual word with different definitions. So you can't, just because somebody turned it into something else, they turned an actual word into something else versus, I guess somebody tried to compare it to using the N-word, saying nigga. And I'm like, no, it's not the same thing. It's funny because I was talking about it with my girl, and I mentioned that to her, and she brought up a comedian who was like, if you can't say the word in the sentence and you trying to express the same, like you can say spaz, but when you're trying to compare it, just saying the N-word, if you can't say the word, then it's not the same thing. Not the same.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point you drop. Now, as an artist though, because Beyonce did take the song off, and Lizzo did the same thing previously. So as an artist, let's say you just use the same word, right? Now, are you gonna not die, that's the wrong term to use, but are you gonna fight on that soapbox for your, I guess, artistic right to use that, or are you just gonna be like, I'm gonna change it just to, why cause more trouble over one line? Like, how important could that one word be? Tough one, right?
Good point. That's a tough one because, again, if someone's getting offended and what I'm clearly saying has nothing to do with what they're associating it with, I'm not going to change it. Like you need to pay attention to what I'm saying. It's not just, oh, it's the word. Like, no, it's what is he saying? Now, if I'm like using it in the context where I'm like degrading someone's handicap, yeah, come at my life, like you should. But it's like I'm about to spaz on this beat. It's like, how would I necessarily? I wouldn't feel right taking it off, honestly, bro. Like, it just wouldn't make sense.
But I think the only way really to get around that would be a conversation, right? But it's like in this day and age when everybody operates through the social media campaign of cancellation, right? Let's get 300 other people behind me to be like, let's cancel this person for using it unless they change it. It's like, how do you even approach that? Or how do you, I guess not even combat it, but how do you communicate with that? It's not like, well, let's have a sit down, right? And even Dave Chappelle at certain points, I guess he had the opportunity to talk with the trans community, but he didn't like the way that they like summons him to like want to talk about things. But a lot of things could just be alleviated with a conversation. This is what I meant by that, and this is how you're taking it. But let's not combine the two things if they don't have to be. Let's not conflate the two things, because I don't think Beyonce keeping that lyric on is going to make somebody go to school and use that word as an insult towards somebody, right? It's not like that's going to lead to bullying. There are certain words, like we use the word retard, you know, back in the day, a little bit more than you would use it. Well, I guess you it's canceled now if you use it. But we didn't always use it to describe handicapped people. We might just use it in a way to describe someone being silly, but I can see you being like, yo, don't use that because that's not a positive connotation. You're using it as a negative word, you know what I'm saying? A negative connotation. So I can get that, even though that's not what I used it. Same thing with the F word. We weren't necessarily talking about gay people, but we'd be like, yo, you're acting like a bleep right now. But I can see why someone's like, yo, well, that word is also used as a slur towards me, so let's just not use it at all together. But in this spaz situation, I think it was just an educational thing. It's like the word for cigarette overseas is fag in the UK. And you're not, you know what I mean? And no one's like, oh, well, you got to cancel that. It's just like, well, that's just a different culture. There's a lot of things that is not going to translate over, you know what I mean, with the culture.
And that's what I mean, context. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what you're trying to say, what you're trying to express with using that word. And to use that example with the word retard, but what that word initially started as was a negative. You know, it was a word to label a person with certain disabilities. So it already had that. And so then people just use that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically we just took that label and we're like, oh, well, we're just going to use it to describe someone that did something silly or that we didn't like or that we just think was unintelligent.
Right. So versus, you know, spaz where it meant something else and then it was turned into something negative.
And if you listen to the way she used it about herself, which...
What did she say? What was the lyric?
Spazzing on that ass, spaz on that ass. And she had to change it to blasting on that ass, blast on that ass. But it was like, I'm spazzing on that ass, right? Like she was referring to herself, like I'm going ham on this song, right? I kind of for lack of a better term. So I think even the context there could have been given some leeway. But I mean, I know how people do. You know what I'm saying? They hear it and they like, yo, let's jump on this or something to get us attention. I just don't, I really shout out to anybody that got time. Like I just to do shit like that. Like you got time in your day to just be like, yo, I need Beyonce to take this lyric off, or I gotta go fight because my school board doesn't want a certain book to be in the school. Like, shout out to you. Like you found your calling in life. You found it, because I'm trying to juggle everything, parenting, podcasting, DJing, and I can't figure this shit out. But you got time to literally take energy to fight against somebody about something. Like, more power to you.
Yeah, real shit, bro.
Yo, so I know you had to see, man. And I know how we get real TMZ up in here sometimes. Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian called it quits. For whatever reason, they said it was long distance. They said it was Pete might have proposed and it was a little bit too fast for her, which is why I proposed to a chick that's not even fully divorced yet. Hey, maybe that's how he moved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then to which Kanye, I guess, still feeling real petty wop from that time where Pete responded with a picture in bed with Kim Kardashian. Well, he said, I'm in bed with your wife, and sent a picture of himself, actually. And maybe Kanye felt like he got one up on him, was like, well, now that you guys are broken up, I'm gonna make a fake newspaper article that says Skeet Davidson dead at age 28. And was a little nervous about that. He also put a little jab in there about Kid Cudi at the bottom. It was like a fake New York Times headline. And I guess what the question I want to pivot to is like, because I don't know what Kanye's play is here. Like, you just gonna go after every dude that she gets with from this point on, or whatever case may be. But have you ever looked back onto something, the way you acted over a girl, and been like, yo, that was corny in every aspect of the word, bro? And it's like, because I can't see Kanye looking back at this period of his life without regret. You know what I'm saying? Or how he moved. And you're a parent. Your kids are seeing this, whether it's now or it's gonna live forever. So it's like, but love will make you do some crazy things. and you don't really realize it till later. So I guess, have you ever seen that, or can you even justify what Kanye's doing based on the fact that, you know, like they do have kids together? So maybe, I guess he has more vested interest in just like a jilted ex-boyfriend.
First of all, no, I cannot justify what Kanye is doing.
It's hard too.
That's like, that's wild. You know, like, but I can understand feeling a certain way towards your ex because of some shit, some dude. But like, you know, I've dealt with girls cheating on me before or whatever, and I regret like blowing up in public in front of this girl. I don't know. It's just like you're just vulnerable as shit. You just put your personal shit out there. You just let the whole world see you in this state, and it's not a comfortable feeling when you get to reflect back on that shit, bro. Like, it's you kind of want to escape because it's like, damn, like, nah, I don't want nobody to see me because they see me in this state. Like, I just regretted that shit. Like, I blew up in the middle of the street with, you know, one of my exes because she did some shit. Actually, you remember? I blew up with her. Yeah. She did some shit on the campus, and I blew up in the middle of the campus squad. You know what I'm saying? And it was
incredible. Yeah,
it was terrible.
No, I've been there. We all have, because love will make you do some crazy things. It's not just the Kanyes and the Kims. It's normal, the Joes and the Schmoes. Like, if people just out here on social media, it's real easy to embarrass yourself. And then there's a feeling where it's like everyone's watching and laughing. Well, probably nobody really gives a fuck about you. If you look back on it, you'll be like, damn, I can't even think of I don't even talk to those people anymore, know anybody. But it's like, it feels like everyone's looking at you. It feels like everyone's waiting for you to make a move and see how you're gonna react on it. When probably the best play is to move on and act like you don't give a fuck a lot of the time, you know what I mean? And
always the best thing.
Yeah, and it's just like, I can't really knock it, like I said, because I've been there before. But it's like, I guess you just learn with time. And someone at Kanye's, I haven't seen it with someone at Kanye's age, someone that old, and not to say she's the only person that acts the damn fool on the internet, but just to be acting like that, it's like, what's the end game here? Is she supposed to just be like running back to your arms now after you acting like a dick during her next relationship? It's like, what's the long play here? Are your kids supposed to respect the way that you handled that? It's like, are you being a good role model in that term? But you don't think about them type of things when you're going through that, when you really just feel played. And what I think people got to do, I think a little bit more though, is get the ego out of it. I've been doing that with a lot of things lately, taking the ego out of it. Like, not even worrying about how it make me look, or be like, yo, how does it just make you feel? Do you feel hurt by this? Do you feel played by this? Do you feel disrespected by this? And then, all right, is it disrespected because you think people looking at it? Or like, if this happened in a room and nobody knew anything, would you still be feeling this? You know what I mean? Certain things, really just taking stock and inventory about it. Because it's like, I think when you do that, you start to realize, I don't really think that was this person's intention. Whether this is how I took it or whether how it came across, I can only judge by what they meant for their movements to do. You know what I mean? Whether they took me in perspective or not. And I just think taking the ego out of a lot of things, especially in relationship shit. If you're in a relationship that you want to last, or you know what I mean, and you and your significant other aren't seeing eye to eye, take the ego out. I don't win arguments. I don't care about winning arguments. I want to get back to the peace. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when you think about it like that, it's like, all right, well, maybe I can look back and be like, yo, I was a dick 10 minutes ago. Or I was holding on to a point that I know nothing about just to win an argument, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, take the ego out of it. And then I think people respect that when you could come back 5-10 minutes later and being like, yeah, I think I was bugging about 10 minutes ago. You know what, to be honest with you, I was wrong about that. I just looked it up on Google, and I think people respect that a little bit more. But when you got to win everything, it's like trying to be the coolest person in the room. No one does it. No one can hold it up forever. So you're gonna fall short at some point.
Yeah, true. And you know, yeah, that's real talk. That's a good point. I mean, I still can't. I'm sorry, but I still can't. Like, I didn't know Kanye did that, but that's like wild, bro. Like, there's no justification there. I understand the feeling behind it, But in his instance, you might have wanted to think about how it looks also. Like it's wild. Like you're taking shots at somebody for what? Like what is going to be the outcome of that? But more shots or not. So
And let's be real too. I don't care how far Kanye's removed from the hood. You come from a place where you don't just play around and talking about somebody's dead, or you do music videos, like, you know what I'm saying, with somebody where you killing somebody, like, and then you better back that up, you know what I mean? Because if Pete really wants to go school shooter on you, you know what I mean? Did you bring that on yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you move, like Kanye, you do better. You know what I'm saying? Kim, Pete, shout out to y'all. Hopefully y'all move on to bigger and better things, and you know, we can stop being in y'all business, because you know what I mean. Pete gonna move on, find him another bad chick. Kim gonna move on and run through another relationship, or find the love of her life and settle down. You know what I mean?
right. Let them live their life.
I want some more relationship advice from you though, man. I don't know if you've seen Drink Champs, your man Irv Gotti. And this, I think, is another cautionary tales on how to deal with your ex in the same way that Kanye's was. But on Drink Champs, your man Irv Gotti had a lot to say about R&B singer Ashanti. You know, apparently a former girlfriend of his, which I knew. I think a lot of people knew. That wasn't, you know what I mean, like a top secret before this. But I guess Irv Gotti really going in depth on these stories and just, what's the word I'm looking for? These little just yeah, stories, I guess, for lack of a better term, about just how him and Ashanti moved together and how the relationship was, and how he felt like she was disloyal and she didn't move the right way. Comes across like a little heartbroken 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least Kanye got kids with the chick, and currently, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it was 20 years ago. Put it like that. So it's like, in the case of Irv Gotti, I think it's corny, and I don't think you're gonna disagree with me saying that's corny. Fat Joe came out and called him out about it. But I guess, how do you feel about people's, I mean, also, I guess in Irv Gotti's defense, you just told a story, right, on a podcast from about 20 years ago. So it's like, is Irv Gotti corny for that, or is he just in the podcast answering questions?
That's honestly, that's what it was. They asked him about it, and you know, it's a podcast. You have to entertain, so you share stories like from your perspective. And honestly, I enjoyed hearing that story about how he found out that she was with Nelly. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he didn't have to go in that much, but you know, it was cool for him to share stories because I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was petty at all.
I think from a marketing standpoint, he might have should have like left some cliffhangers and teasers so you go to watch that Murder Inc. documentary. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, he probably did more for Drink Champs than he did for his own documentary.
Yeah, that I agree. Yeah, you should have held back on some of that information there.
Yeah, you see Nelly's response when he brought Ashanti out on stage? I think like it might have been the day after the Drink Champs premiered. He brought Ashanti out on stage. She performed a couple songs, and he was like, I got some floor seats if you wanna go to another game, and she was walking off.
That's fucked up, dude. Hey, this is music, bro. This is how it became so popular.
Like, exactly. Nah, that's the game. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Nah, I can't like, I didn't even think about it. I did think it was kind of corny, but especially, and that's and not to say Drink Champs doesn't deceive anybody. You know what you're walking into. But I'm pretty sure you put alcohol and weed in front of a lot of people, they're gonna talk. That's the chemistry behind the show. Yeah. And it's like, you know what I mean? I don't have to specifically ask you a question, but I kind of can lead you in that direction. And it's on you at that point. You know, you're responsible for what you say at that point.
All they had to do was say her name after the drink, so it was a wrap.
Yeah. Oh, and then I think even if he kept it, I guess maybe if he would have just kept like, not everyone would have knew who he was talking about if he didn't, I guess, get specific with songs and being his artist and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it's kind of like the same way I said I'll blur out the name, I'll blank out the name. It's like, and you didn't be like, nah, keep it in, keep it like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't, because like, you're not here for that. You're not trying to do that. And it's just like, it kind of seemed like, well, what was we gonna sell your Drinks Champs without that story with? How are we gonna market it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that that carried a lot of the marketing for them.
That's a good point.
Mm.
You never really know. But
I got one more relationship story, I guess, for you that I want to get your opinion on. So Britney Spears, she remarried. She recently got her freedoms, no longer on a conservatorship, and got married real quick after that. But apparently, you know, she has 2 sons with Kevin Federline. I don't remember if you remember him from back in the day. But apparently, they don't. Kevin came out and said that the boys do not want to see Britney. They have no interest, and alluded to the fact of, you know, Britney takes a lot of like naked pictures on Instagram, or at least she does take naked pictures. She also like a lot of half naked pictures also. To which the boys kind of look at it with a little bit of like embarrassment, and they're not in the mood to talk to her. And then Britney, you know, responded. I don't got to get into the exact quotations of the quote, but basically saying like, you know what I mean, like, y'all judging me, but I gave y'all life. And then kind of, you know, getting at Kevin a little bit for releasing that, not even for the way they feel, but like, yo, you don't got to tell the public, you don't got to tell the whole world that my kids don't want to see me. So I guess who's wrong in that situation? Like, as a mother of teenage boys, should you respect the game and realize, like, your kids are in school with other teenage boys that are gonna have locker room talk and make fun of this type of thing? So, you know what I mean? Maybe you should have a little bit more respect for that. Not even gonna say how you move, because how you move is you're gonna be judged off of how you move. But realize that the other people involved may be hurt by how you move. Or is Kevin corny for that, for even putting that out in the public, putting family business out in the public, or both of them?
now you already know, bro. They both corny for that. They both corny. That's like personal business. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's something your kids are going through that you brought into the public. Not even just the fact that you two are going through it, your kids are going through it. Mm-hmm. And now, you know, the kids that they go to school with are gonna see that and it's like, oh, did you bring it up to your daddy? Saying that, they're just perpetuating the issue. Like, it's not gonna help at all. And her, like, you're a mother. If your kids are saying this is an issue for them, you got to take that into consideration. You're a parent, period. Not even just a mother, a parent. Like, if I was out here and I had kids and I was just shirt off in some tighty whities on my IG and stuff, and their friends are saying some shit like my bad. You know what? That don't even make any sense. Why am I doing this? Like, for me, and you know, everybody's morals are different also. Like, you already know Britney's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm. But I think we're gonna have a generation of kids that's gonna realize their moms is wilding out on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And my theory is that it's just gonna be looked at different, if that makes sense. Like, we might not judge it with as much of stigmatism, but also I didn't have a mom twerking on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell someone how to react to that. I can't tell someone to just let that go. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and it'll be cool to change the stigmatism towards it and change the way we feel when we see this with certain imagery. But it'd be nice to change that. But even if you change that, if your kids are still being teased, like, it doesn't matter. It's they're being teased.
Yeah.
So you need to create a safe environment for your children. So.
Yeah. Now, actually, I wonder that a lot too with like porn stars and just anything. Like after you reach a certain level of fame and whatever you do, like, you go places, people recognize you. And then when you really have kids and these kids get of age where their friends recognize you, like, how do you handle that? How do you deal with that? You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of mothers of today are just you know what I mean? Like, I guess if you kept your clothes on, you always got that excuse of, oh, I wasn't out here butt naked, you know what I'm saying, doing anything, or I wasn't out here shaking my ass, da-da-da-da-da. But there are some out there who really don't even, you know what I'm saying, don't think it's a bad thing, don't think and I don't think it's a bad thing, I don't think it is, but I know what I do right now, my kid's gonna see. So I gotta know how to, like, I gotta keep that in mind. Whether if I change it or anything like that, I know that. So I move in consideration now. I'm not a chick or I'm not a, you know, exotic dancer of any sort. So I guess in that regard, but there's still things I got to do knowing that my kid could come back and see it. And I guess I take that into consideration, but I don't really want to knock anybody's hustle if they don't.
And that's the thing also. You got to think about the individual also. If that's your life, like, some kids love that their parents are a certain way that other people wouldn't agree with. So if you just got to think about the kids, bro. Like, however it can affect the kids, you know, you got to pay attention to what your lifestyle is. And if it's not healthy for the way your children are, then you need to take that into consideration. Some kids are just, you know, super happy and just love that their parents are just living their life and free and happy as well. That's just, you know, so you just got to pay attention to that as well. You can't just judge everybody, of course, but you can judge Brittany because her kid said it's an issue. If their kid said that, because that was the pop saying it.
That's true. That they come from his mouth. And to Brittany's point, her taking those pictures, not necessarily directly, but that funds their lifestyle. So, you know what I mean? Don't take the good with the, you know what I mean, without the bad. But we're gonna take a quick break right now, and bro, when we get right back, we're gonna, you know, hop into one of my favorite segments on the show, man. But y'all stay tuned. We're gonna get right back to y'all. What's good, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy in the building.
Yours truly, DJ Show. We here with Money Talks Radio.
And in case you don't know what that is, I'm gonna let you know, man. That is 2 hours commercial-free, clean music, man. Play around your kids, play around your boys. You know how it's going down, because it's nothing but good music from your man Playboy Show. Hour 1. Gonna hit y'all with a little bit of programming, tell y'all what's going on in the world's current events, as well as all the hot songs going on. And hour 2, what we got for them,
Oh
show?
my God, we take it all the way up, man. Nothing but straight vibes, no stopping, nothing, man. You want to take it to the club, you want to take it to the party, you want to take it to the function, we got you, man. An hour with that Money Talks mix.
Yep. Find us on SoundCloud, find us on iHeartRadio, find us on Google Podcasts. Of course, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. They got everything up on there, man. And leave a rating, leave a review. But what should they search when they looking for us too, show?
When you search for us, you gotta search Money Talks Radio and in parentheses, WMTE Worldwide.
What's good, y'all? We right back at it, man. You know, I still got my man Ambro in the building, rocking with the Perfect Talk podcast. Before we left, we was talking about the Britney Spears issue. You said you had something more to say on it, or?
I just wanted to see what was your take on it. Like, do you feel like, well, if either of them are wrong, or, you know, how do you feel?
It's
as a parent?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny too, because I went through, you know, like a beefing period with my kid's mom. And we don't necessarily see eye to eye right now, but we're not like in Charlton beef. When we got to come together, we come together for stuff. But I know, yeah, it can get really corny. It's brought out, I think that time in my life brought out the worst in me. I think it brings out the worst in everybody when you're fighting over stuff and kids are involved. Everybody that's what I'm saying. Like, it goes back to the same thing I said about the ego. Where we gotta remove the ego from certain things. It's like, because everybody wants to win, everybody wants to be right. And then even when they're doing their corniest and moving at their corniest, you can't see no evil that you're doing. You know what I mean? You see what the other person's doing and you're quick to call it out. And where, you know what I'm saying, I think it just, you take a few steps back and you look at it from the wider view, I think everybody, you know what I'm saying, they see a better view. Like, Kev, you was corny for that. You ain't have to do that. Like, you know what I mean? People like, oh, well, the child support's about to run out soon or whatever, so he's got to get back in the media, whatever. Because I don't get the point of him. Why would you need to talk to the media about that? You know what I mean? Like, nobody was thinking, nobody was checking for that. And then she's corny for that. Like, Ma, you got kids. I get it. You know, your life was fucked up. And that's the thing, too, when you have kids, is it's a struggle. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, it's going to be a point in my life when my kid, if she's the only kid I got, she's not going to live in the house no more. And it may reach the point where I wake up one day and I don't know me because of that, right? Because I spent so much time focusing on another life that I think as parents, sometimes we lose ourselves and we lose the development of ourselves and the growth in ourselves while we're working on developing this other life. And I get it, like Brittany, you know, she was going through some shit that, you know, I wouldn't want to go through. And, you know, like a lot of people wouldn't want to go through, but it doesn't give you an excuse to come out and not really take into regard with your actions due to the people that love and are connected to you, whether they want to be or not. And yeah, you know what? I get it. And there's no, I am all for the sexual liberation of women. I think you don't even, bro. Like I listen to a lot of like podcasts. They
Same.
like people think of they call them like horror podcasts because it's chicks talking about their sexual just freedom, just how they feel about their sexual experiences, and people call them horror podcasts. Like I think that's education, bro. Like I think a lot of the stuff that we had in toxic masculinity was because the wrong education was being taught over time. We wasn't paying attention to what chicks get off on or what, you know what I'm saying, truly pleasures them or whatever. It's like we just talk with this sense of toxic masculinity, try to define what they are. So I'm all for the liberation of women sexually, you know what I'm saying, through their art, through their podcast, through their music, whatever the case may be. But just know that whatever you put out there is gonna represent you and can be taken out of context to represent you. So you gotta be careful with that one, and just know, like, I will, before you do anything, how could this embarrass my kid? You know what I'm saying? Especially, and I think it's a little different too, because women don't necessarily know the locker room talk that boys deal with. So you might do something, be like, this ain't gonna affect my kid, and I realize he's gonna get made fun of that on the football team or the basketball team. You know what I'm saying? Like Drake.
Or maybe just having those talks with them, speak to your kid. Speak to your kid, especially if that's your lifestyle. Maybe speak to them when they're able to understand and be given that opportunity to tell you how they feel.
Yeah. No, you remember that one, Drake was dating that one mother that goes to that her son goes to the same school as LeBron, and Drake was dating the moms. I'm sure your kid gotta hear mad shit on the basketball team about that. Drake smashing your moms. And it's just like, I get it from the mom standpoint. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity. She like, Drake like me, I'm gonna entertain that. But you gotta realize what you're putting your kids through. Same thing, Scottie Pippen's mom. Ex-wife. They got a kid together that, he's of that age where he got to deal with people making fun of shit about his moms. And, in her eyes, she's like, well, I'm going to move the way I want to move. I'm a grown ass woman. I can do what I want to do. And I think sometimes when we don't realize like what the opposite sex goes through, what your daughter might have to go through if you treat women a certain type of way publicly, what your son might have to go through if you present a certain image of yourself in the media, you know what I mean? Like, and without knowing that or taking that into consideration, you can put a lot of these kids in therapy probably more than they have to be, you know what I'm saying?
They're having different trauma. We had other trauma.
Yeah, on top of the regular trauma. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's
right.
Yo, I took the ego out of everything I do. We all moving corny. We all make mistakes. You know what I think too? Like I got a daughter, so one of these things I hear a lot is like, yo, they're gonna reach a certain age. I get along with my daughter now. We could joke, we could da-da-da. She's gonna reach a certain age where she's just gonna be mean and she's not gonna want nothing to do with you. And then I'm just like, I'm gonna try not to. I don't want us to reach that point. I might be fighting a battle that's gonna be a losing battle anyway. But I'm like, we can't just accept these certain things about culture that nobody likes. Like moms don't like when their daughters turn that, dads don't like when their daughters turn that. So why are we just accepting this as part of the process? Obviously something's wrong. Like what can we do differently? Maybe we could, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with like, remember with the Me Too stuff, right? You got all these dudes getting in trouble because they didn't realize you can't just flirt with a girl in the break room. Like that can be used against you. You know what I'm saying? Like I realized that through making mistakes. I realized that through flirting with girls that wasn't into me. And I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to make mistakes over time to the point where by the time I was a grown man, I was like, nah, save that for the bar. I don't want nothing that she could call me to the principal's office for. You know what I'm saying? So, because I had my share of that growing up. I made mistakes. I was a little wild little whippersnapper, you know what I'm saying? But it was like I had to grow. And that's, to be honest with you, changing my environment. Once I went to college, I didn't have to move a certain type of way that I used to move before. One, I was moving because of a way that I thought was, that people just expected of me. That was what was on me to my own doing, because of the way I moved. I was extra flirty. I probably touched girls more than they wanted to be touched. I probably, you know what I'm saying, was all up on people who didn't want me all up on them. Like I could
little with them and shit.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, nah, but I had to learn, like some people don't like that. I had to almost get my ass kicked a couple times. You know what I'm saying? To know that, all right, well, this ain't, and when I have a son, I gotta let him know. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna let him go through make the same mistakes and move the same way, you know what I'm saying? And so I think the same thing with my daughter is like, I get it. We might reach a point where she's a teenager and she don't want nothing to do with me. That might be, like I said, it might be just an inevitable thing, but I'm not just gonna sit here and just give up. Or I'm not just gonna sit here and put a stigma on it and be like, well, she's just gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Just not a pleasure.
That expectation. Or it's even, before
you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because everyone don't got the same experience. So I think that we just got these things where we just accept things to be a certain way that they are, man.
Yeah.
Well, we running kind of low on time, so I want to get to my favorite segment before we get out of here. It's called "Have You Heard?" I hear a lot of things in the headlines, and I bring them to the table. See if y'all have heard. So first up, have you heard? The FBI raided Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, and they said they found classified documents.
I actually did hear that. I came across that on the news, and they try to say that he declassified them before he brought us the property or whatever. It's like, no, that's that's the most that I got. It's wild, but it's not far fetched.
Mm-hmm. He fighting two cases actually. He's fighting the joint in that they just raided his crib, but he got another thing going in New York with the I think the district attorney had him, and he just basically pled the fifth when they subpoenaed him to come testify. So it's like there's nothing with Trump though. I don't even get faith when he gets in trouble for a lot of stuff, because after he got away with that January 6th shit, I'm just like, yo, like he's like, and I mean, y'all gonna call him and y'all gonna give him a hard time and give him a headache, but at the end of the day, it's like he's looking real bulletproof right now. And until y'all show me otherwise, you know what I mean? They going hard though. They definitely got something cooking. I don't think, because even people like it's a political play. I don't think they're gonna make a political play to come up with nothing and just look stupid. Like they just harassing them. They you know what I mean? Now you making them stronger if you just do that. You know what I mean?
Now they got to follow suit.
Yeah. There was a dude who went to the FBI building shooting. They had to kill him. And he was a huge Trump supporter. After the shit happened. A lot of people there, they anti all the people that was back the blue and they was like they wasn't talking that defund the police shit. Now they all changing their tone, like yo, and shut down the FBI. That the homie went there to shooting. The homie went there to kill people. I think what was it? I think it was Cleveland. Yeah, he went there to kill people, bro. Like it's like yo, these niggas is nuts.
Yeah, shit.
And my thing too is like, how you dick ride that hard, bro? Like you gonna lose your life over Trump? Like, what did he do for you that I don't get it, bro?
That's that extremist. That extremist is still real. Like,
yeah, oh no, Cincinnati
storm the Capitol. You see that it stormed the Capitol,
and a lot of them didn't get punished.
So it's like real shit.
Yeah, I get it. Nah, shit is getting crazy. I guess you're gonna have to wait and see where this Trump story goes and if anything more develops of it. But yeah, they definitely know they don't want him back. Then they definitely trying to do whatever they can to make sure that don't happen. And bro, have you heard? Doja Cat's fans are a little bit concerned after she cuts off her hair on her head and I believe her eyebrows as well.
I knew she cut her eyebrows. I didn't know she cut her hair. But I don't even know what that was about. But
I guess as an artist,
prerogative, like
yeah, as an artist, do you feel like I don't know, is that a red sign? Is it a red flag that something might be wrong with her? Or is it just an artistic expression?
Maybe she's just trying to switch it up. Like maybe she's been used to this formula that she's doing for a long time, and she just wants to do something different. She needs that release, that artistic release, and that's what she did. Like it has nothing to do with maybe there's something wrong with her. It could be that. That's for her circle to. That's cool. Do your thing.
It go back to the conversation we had earlier too, like how you connect with people in real life and live performance. I think when your connection is based off of that social media connection, it can turn against you whenever it gets highly negative or whenever you notice a lot of negative comments. Because I think the negative ones stick out even more. You got 500 great ones and 5 negative ones, but those 5 stick out more than the 500 good ones. So I think when you rely heavily on your connection with the people being social media based, that shit could get very stressful. Because when I get really stressed, I don't want to be on social media. I take a few days off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can see how that shit could pull somebody down. Hold your head up, Doja, because I love your music. I'm a huge fan. And keep doing what you do. And bro, have you heard the driver was identified in that crazy car crash, I want to say in Woodland Hills, and the one out in LA, where that lady ran full speed and killed 6 people. No, you didn't hear her name is Nicole Linton. She's actually I believe a travel nurse. Yeah, you got to check out the video, bro. She rode she just drove into a intersection, went through the red light, killed 6 people. It was a big explosion. She actually only got minor injuries too. But she killed a pregnant woman. She killed a baby. She killed, just a lot of people, and a lot of people, more people were injured. It was this big like fireball explosion. From what I hear too, I got to double check, but I think they said they didn't find any alcohol or drugs in her system. Like she's just, the only guy I guess she was trying to kill herself. But run into a wall then, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? Why would you run into a crowd? That's like a mass shooter.
Take other people with you, yeah. Wow, bro. That I didn't hear about that, bro. That's man.
Nah, thoughts and prayers with everybody out there. And I think it's somebody, I seen a meme, but it make you really realize every time you leave your house is a risk. So don't take it for granted when you return home safely or your people's return home safely. Like everything's a blessing and be very grateful for it, because anything can happen when you leave the crib, man. What else do I got here? Have you seen the put on your shoes challenge? You know what that is? Basically, parents are running, and I'm gonna just say up front, I hate this. But basically, parents will like start filming, run up to their kids and be like, "Yo, put on your shoes. We gotta go fight I gotta go fight this lady down the street. And in case our kids pop off, I want to know if you're gonna fight." And basically, they're videotaping the kid's reaction, see if the kid's gonna be pussy about it, or if he's hyped, like, if he's gonna ride or die. I hate this. Like, I think you're causing so much. I hate any prank. I hate the Jimmy Kimmel shit where they take the candy from the kids. And they tell them that they ate all their trick-or-treat candy. I'm like, yo, I hate, like, why are you causing kids unnecessary trauma? You don't realize you fuck with a kid.
Right.
You remember that shit. Everybody remember when they was really upset and sad and fooled about some shit, bro. And then you start having crazy trust issues. Like, I'm like, yo, my parents want me to go fight. And then how you gonna tell your kid to handle themselves the right way, like to know when they really should fight and when they really should fall back when you playing around pranking like this? Like, my fault, but have you heard?
That's wild. That's wild, bro. I'm not a parent, so it's hard for me to speak on that, but that's not one thing I would be involved in, bro. That's trauma all the way. And not to get, and I don't want to put a blanket statement, but I think when your content online is dependent on your kids, and then even the exploitation of your kids, I think that you probably should get more creative with your online content, because I don't know. I'm not with that at all, bro. I hate that type of stuff, bro. I mean, I guess it'd be cool. Honestly, if you wasn't posting it, then maybe it'd be cool to see, like, yo, my kid really got my back. They about to come fight with me. Like, maybe that's something you laugh about in your bedroom and be like, yo, I'm proud. Like, you know what I'm saying? He really gonna ride for me if it really came down to it. But not nothing to post, especially when the kid acting puss too. that's word. He put him on blast. Now his friends are gonna see it like, oh,
years later, you got living
trauma.
Viral trauma. Oh man, I got two personal. I guess it's not have you heard anymore. We can move on from that segment, but just two personal things I wanted to talk to you about. And I guess this is a have you heard. My fault it is, because Kylie Jenner came out a few months ago and tweeted that she don't like the way the Instagram moves nowadays. She misses the old Instagram where it was like photos, and now, because Instagram leads heavy towards videos. And even me and you we were talking about clips before this and everything, how the algorithm leans towards stuff of a certain quality and of a certain make. So I agree with Kylie. I mean, and I heard some people talking about this, and they actually broke it down, and they was like, well, Kylie's business model is dependent more on pictures than video, just because of the photoshopping you could do to a picture. And after, you know what I'm saying, the post production would be a little bit more advanced on a video. It would take a little bit more effort to do some of the stuff that y'all do with video. With photos. I think from my standpoint on it, I look at it like, yo, you started out with the love of photographers. You blew up because photographers gave y'all content. You make music videos. You tell me if I'm wrong. Making videos is different from taking photos. It's way different. Yeah, so now you leaning towards one brand of, you know what I'm saying, photographer or a videographer or whatever the case may be, but now you're leaving out another, especially the ones that put you on, that you got your shine on. So that's where I come from. It's like, I gotta play this algorithm game now to get attention for content when I should be able to just post a picture. Shouldn't, just a regular non-static picture. of this. That's because that's what Instagram started on. But how do you feel on it?
I can feel that. Now that you finished that statement, I can feel that because it's like, so because I decide to put this type of content and it's not fitting your algorithm, you're not gonna let my people see it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna push it further than it would have if it was something within your algorithm. I can understand that whatever changes I need to make because I'm a content creator, I just adjust because I do both. So
Yeah, well, yeah, because you gotta. It's for your livelihood to keep up with it. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? But I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, with what Kylie does, I guess I see where more so where her things come from too. Because it's like also, I gotta learn TikTok now. You know what I'm saying? And just for my survival, I gotta learn it as a content creator. Just even if I'm just gonna start off light, it's like something I gotta do. Well, for someone like her, where she's got so many millions on this one platform, she's invested in this platform at this point. I also heard that like the generation of kids that, and I don't know how true this is, but just a generation that is heavy on TikTok isn't really pro Kardashian. So it's going to be an uphill battle for her to try to convert to another app. But that's more so name of the game stuff. But if we really just want to break down an app, I love Instagram. I think Instagram's fun. But now it's like now I lean more towards Reddit because Reddit gives me everything. You know what I'm saying? From every different platform, whatever's funny, whatever's the best thing marketed towards me, they're gonna show it on there. So I don't know. I don't really know what's the way for Instagram, like how they gonna keep up because they was crushing all the other stuff, right? Snapchat, everything else, but it seems like TikTok's giving them a run for their money.
And it all depends on what you're trying to do. You know, like I like LinkedIn, honestly, like small businesses and entrepreneurs. So I do some work on there as well. I don't know. Are you on LinkedIn at all?
I'm on LinkedIn. I don't use it. Nah, my fault. Yeah, I think my connection's acting crazy. Nah, I don't use it heavy though. I think I have an account, but I'm not on it like that. How about you? Are you on TikTok?
I'm on TikTok. I'm learning how to do more TikTok. It caters to the side where you don't have to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? You can just have fun. And I do it. You know, I love to dance. I used to dance, so it gives me an opportunity to do stuff like that and share it with people.
Yeah, I've been editing a couple of videos and I like what TikTok does. It gives extra editing tools. Now they're gonna give Instagram a run for their money, and we're gonna see who come out. Usually the young one takes out the old one, so we'll see how that works. But now I don't know why my connection acting crazy right now, so we're gonna have to probably wrap things up for the shit get too nutty. But before we get up out of here, man, where can my actually no, before we get up out of here, I got one more question for you, bro. I'm gonna tell you one more scenario before this shit blow up on me. So
I
yo,
can see your face over there too. You're getting so annoyed.
you see every time it happen, right? Yo, nah, you know, me and my girl was talking, and it was like, just talking about just through the course of our relationship. Like I remember when we first started, I would like pictures of like Instagram models because I never really thought about it. I wasn't in a relationship when I first really got heavy into Instagram, so I didn't realize how someone could take me liking this person's picture who none of us know. It ain't like a person that we both run, you know what I mean? Know why you would get offended by that. But she let me know how she felt and I respected it. I was like, I bet if it make you feel some type of way, I'm not getting nothing off of liking this chick's pictures. So I cut it out. But then like something had came up where I put fire emojis on a girl's like pictures. And then my girl, she didn't get mad, but she had mentioned it. And then she was like, well, you're saying she's hot. I'm like, I'm not saying she's hot. I'm saying the picture's lit. And I'm like, so it's obviously we're talking two different languages. Because I can see why she would think fire emojis would mean that. And I just didn't think it like that. I was like, oh, I thought it shit just meant lit. So I guess where are your views at on if you're in a relationship and in social media, should you just cut out commenting altogether? Should you is that something you should fight for in a relationship and be like, oh, well, this is part of my individualism, or if it's just like, yo, if it makes your partner uncomfortable, it's something I'm just gonna have to cut out?
It depends on your relationship. Like, make those same comments also, because she appreciates the beauty of the women.
Mhm.
But I don't know bullshit. She brought it up to me one time and she was like, yo, I don't like that, so I had to cut it back. It all depends on your relationship. Like if you have that relationship where she understands that, maybe she's more on social media and understands those type of interactions, it'll work for you. But if you gotta explain everything, bro, nah, I'm good.
And we're creators too. A girl might hit you up she wants you to make a music video for her. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like as you not interacting with people, it could be detrimental, detrimental for your business. You could be losing out on a sale or something like that, or whatever the case may be. For me, it could be a listener. It could be someone that could, a viewer or something like that. But I guess you got to choose your battles when it comes to relationships, right? Because it's
like, already know.
I'm either gonna be doing it.
Make her understand. No, also, bro, if you can't, if what you said to her didn't make her understand why you interact that way, then you're saying the wrong things, and you need to revisit what you're saying and then get it to a point where she can understand how beneficial this is for your business. And maybe you can reach an arrangement there where she doesn't feel like doing some shit, you know?
Oh yeah. No, bro. We're gonna leave it right there, right? That's perfect. You just left it the right way, man. We're gonna leave it right there. That's another episode in the books. And bro, tell my people where they can find you at on social media, brother.
What's good, peoples? Again, you can find me on Instagram at AmbroIG. That's AMBROIG. You can catch my music on Spotify, Apple Music, all platforms. AM space BRO, because I am the bro. Check you guys next time.
Definitely, man. You can find your boy Pliccapeezy on Instagram at Pliccapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Find me on Twitter at DJPLICCAPLAYBOY. You can follow Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Also check out the website www.perfecttalkpodcast.com for every episode of the podcast. Perfect Talk Podcast. My radio show, The Night Shift, and the radio show I do with my brother, DJ Show, Money Talks Radio. We just dropped episode 27, so go check that out because it's a banger. Also, every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever your podcasts are available. Go check it out because we can use a rating, we can use a like, we can leave a little review, you know what I'm saying? The algorithm loves that type of thing. So make sure you go out there, support the brand, tell a friend to tell a friend. And bro, usually around this time, I like to ask my guests, what it is that they watching, but I know you got a joint that you wanna end the episode off with. So let me know, you know what I mean? What would you like to premiere right now for the people? Or it could even be a joint that's already out that you want to promote. What would you like to hit the people right now with Ambro exclusive, DJ Playboy exclusive?
All right, so people, this video is Old Team Back. It's my latest reggae out in Arizona. It's out on YouTube. It's out on all platforms. Pure vibes.
Oh yeah, all right. So we up out of here, y'all. Make sure y'all rock out. Me and man Ambro, we're gonna leave y'all right now with that Old Ting Back. And we're gonna see y'all next time, man. Say goodbye to the people, brother.
Yo, blessings. Have a great week.
Nice.
Yes. Scooby-Dooby-Dee-Doo-Day. Scooby-Dooby-Dee-Doo-Day. Scooby-Dooby-Doo-Day. Yeah. Scooby-Dooby-Dee-Doo-Day. I remember those days. Say me want that whole thing back. Bash make that always pop. Time feeling like it stopped. Sexy girl round the clock. Say me want that whole thing back. Heineken from the back. Look on the cutie backside. Long before twerk became style. Look as she lean to the side. Hands on her knees as she winds. Chance on the test of time. DJ, can you press rewind? Say me want that whole thing back. On the river, say on the bank. Beanie drove beamers, singing Sensima, K-put in Sizzler, songs about Rizzler. I me want that whole thing back. 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 man Pandy Block. Labor Day Eastern Parkway. Watch out the flags, them wave. I remember those days the youth went out and play. Mash up Prospect Park, feed the voodoo parade. Beef patty, cocoa bread with me bedrin Jermaine. Tennis court East 18th, right off the Q train. Big up Brooklyn, but my chalice. Snoop, Babylon, remember how them a treat you nowadays? Them a shoot, more them a used to. Media